Hello, how's it going? This is Chris from the Inspired Life Podcast. If you come to a fork in the road, take it. You've probably heard that saying before, and it's a little bit cliched, and if you haven't heard this is how I interpret this saying, and I'm going to give you a few examples from my life as well, or actually probably just one example from my life as a starting off point, because I really think, as silly and corny as this saying sounds, you come to a fork in the road, take it, well, duh, right? But how often do we live our lives where we come to a fork in the road and we could do A or B and we do nothing, right? So technically, you get to a fork in the road, take it, to me, means that you weigh your options, of course, like which road would be better for me, depending on, where I want to get to, and they might be very similar roads. A leads to one place and B leads to another place. And when you're hiking on a trail or something, that sign, the marker, might tell you where that trail leads. In real life, you're not going to have many signs. You can use some intuition and say, well, I can guess that if I take A, that it will take me here, and if I take road B, it'll take me over here. And I really want to get more to A. And then you take A. I think whenever we get into that analysis paralysis where we really can't decide which way to go, and we are just floored by, I have no idea what to do, and blah, 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 sometimes we just have to pick one and go with it and figure out at that point whether or not it's the place that we want to be. Because, one thing's for sure is that you can look and analyze somebody else's life, but until you've really done it yourself, it's all theory, and it's all just regurgitated, book learning. Sherm on the Crazy Asian show on Anchor was talking about this, regurgitating like inspirational speakers, and that was a great kind of lesson. And same kind of thing here, where we really need to experience it. We need to feel it. We need to go through it ourselves. Otherwise, who knows where A goes and who knows where B goes? I have no idea. But at a certain point, you really just have to take one. So one example from my life, this was actually I wouldn't say a crash and burn, but it was like a mini failure. For some of you know, I own a fitness business, and for 12 years I've been doing nothing but one-on-one personal training. And about a year and a half ago, I really wanted to start branching out, and I wanted to do more fitness classes. Now, my studio that I rent is not that big. It's about 1,000 square feet, and there's 2 rooms. So doing a group class in one of these rooms would be pretty tight, let's just say that. But I really wanted to do it, and I really thought it could work. I still do kind of think it will work to a certain extent, but we're not quite there yet. But anyway, I tried it. I was going back and forth and back and forth. Will this work? I don't know. And at a certain point, I just said, why am I still thinking about this? Why am I not trying this? And so once I realized that, boom, it was lightning speed. I just said, all right, I'm sending out the emails. I'm posting this on Facebook. We're doing classes. And, I talked about this yesterday about when do you go fast and when do you go slow. And when you're not sure, which way to go, that's when you go very slow and deliberate. But at this point, when I realized that I was just overanalyzing this whole situation, I took very fast action. I went down road A, so to speak. And, that lasted for about 6 months. I was down road A for about 6 months doing classes, and just realized that there were inherent flaws in the whole model, and tried to patch up with Band-Aids and everything like that, and it just didn't work. So I had to take action again and basically pulled the plug on that. So it was a small kind of failure, but we were still able to provide value to those people who were coming to classes during that time. And, now we're really doubled down on our bread and butter, which is personal training, one-on-one, and occasionally a small group or semi-private, like 2 or 3 people. But without trying that, I would still be in theory land about saying, well, I don't know if it'll work, I don't know if it won't. So I guess what I'm trying to say as I close up is, if you're back and forth, try something. Just give it a shot and let me know how it goes.
Chris from Inspired Life Podcast. This is Laura from Laura Explorer. Thank you so much for your call-in and your encouragement. That really starts off my day awesome, and I really do love your podcast. It's great. I started listening, and it's so good to find kin out there. So, like-minded spirit. Great. Keep up the good work. I look forward to it every morning. Thank you. Have an awesome day.
Hey man, I just wanted to call in really quick here. I'm actually a first-time listener of your podcast, and that was actually the first episode I stumbled on was, go slow or fast. And kind of wanted to just call in, let you know that I really enjoyed your work. I think your podcast and mine are actually pretty similar, kind of instilling values and, giving different perspectives to different listeners. And I can totally respect what you're doing, but kind of just want to say, dude, I really liked what you were saying. How about the slow and steady part? Sometimes you got to go slow. Sometimes you got to go fast. Kind of just want to give my 2 cents just by saying that I totally relate to that, because I feel that in a business standpoint, for example, a lot of people try to rush into things and they don't know where they're going, right? They don't have a map. And so a lot of the times people need to find out what they need to do first, kind of the research part first. And then when they do all that, then go on the offense, go on the attack. And then from there, you only got to learn so much, by studying it. So sometimes you have to learn by taking action. So I can totally relate to what you're saying. Keep it up.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.